Despite the wet weather conditions this Sunday afternoon, it is a beautiful day for basketball as we bring you coverage of the FilOil Pre Season Premier Cup. And one premier battle deserves another. After San Beda beat Letran earlier, we have another major matchup on our hands as Ateneo takes on La Salle in Game 2 of our coverage here on ABS-CBN Sports and Action. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching us. I'm Eric Depan alongside Christian Luanzon, and courtside we'll be joined by our familiar faces. From Ateneo, we have Laura Liman, and Janine Choi will join us from Salle University. Christian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Eric.
And very exciting to a lot of people have come down to check this battle out, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty exciting to get a look, an initial look at the Blue Eagles and the Green Archers right before the UAAP season.
Well, especially if it's La Salle Ateneo, no words needed to explain yung rivalry nitong dalawa. Even though it's preseason, I think the crowd and the noise speaks a lot for itself. So it's going to be an exciting game for sure.
All right, for those of you who don't know yung format ng ating FilOil Pre Season Premier Cup, take a look here. 16 teams divided into 2 groups. Christian?
Well, each team in their group will play against each other once, which is a total of basically 8 games, so 7 games. And then after that, let's begin a crossover, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 against the other bracket. And then it's a process of elimination, semifinals, then on to the championship. Our league's going to be done probably in the 2nd week of June.
So yan yung crossover championships. That's the only time teams from bracket A will meet bracket B. Only the top 4 pag nag-advance sila, doon lang sila mag-crossover. That's part of the format of the FilOil Pre-Season Premier Cup. Now let's take a look at the standings right now as we're towards the tail end of the eliminations. Christian, ito na yung standings of your favorite teams.
Well, on Group B, especially we're featuring today La Salle versus Ateneo. La Salle 4-0, Ateneo 3-1. 2 teams really just probably getting a feel for each other right now. Number 1 with their new coaches, Coach Ayo on La Salle, Coach Tab, who both were just designated at the same month, I believe, December. As soon as that UAP season last year was over, these 2 took the helm, had some court time, and right now we get Eric, a taste of what's to come in the upcoming season, the upcoming UAP season.
Well, now that you brought it up, Christian, pag-usapan natin muna ang Ateneo, a team that went through a lot of changes coming into the off-season after the UAAP. First of all, head coaching nagpalit, and then a lot of players, as you see, 30 Ravena, who will be taking obviously the place of his brother Kiefer, one of the notable players na umalis na, finished out his playing years para sa Ateneo.
Those are tough shoes to fill. You mentioned about Kiefer, and then kapatid pa, no? I can't imagine yung pressure, if there's any, in the family or maybe in the world of basketball. But pressure is a part of life. It's a part of basketball. And a rich tradition in terms of basketball program is concerned, itong Ateneo. Regardless kung sino ang coach dyan, kung sino muupo dyan, it's always an interesting year. There's really no safe spot, so to speak. Every player has to prove himself with the program that Ateneo has.
Right.
You're going to have to prove yourself day in and day out to be worthy of that spot.
Well, no matter the controversy, as you take a look at La Salle lineup, and we'll take a look at that first before we talk about more of the changes and the things that you have to expect between both teams. La Salle also made a few changes in the lineup after the resignation of Juno Sauler. Alden Ayo stepped in, and here are some of the additions, the losses, and holdovers for the Green Archers.
A lot of significant losses. Perkins, well, just the last 2 days, talking about Perkins, might have a comeback. Sargent, they're still checking their eligibility. Toralba, I believe, is gone. Navarro is gone, transferred to San Sebastian. But life moves on. You still have your main man, Jeron Teng. And Mbala, obviously, is the talk of the town. Very heavily favored itong La Salle this upcoming season. If healthy, they really have a good shot of taking that crown next season.
Well, there's going to be a lot of new faces, but familiar badges. It will still be Ateneo, La Salle, Blue Eagles, and Green Archers. And the first quarter is next. Pagbalik natin dito sa ABS-CBN Sports and Action.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the FilOil Flying V Center here in San Juan, we renew the rivalry of the best rivalry ever in Philippine sports. This is your 10th FilOil Flying V Pre Season Premier Cup. Let us now meet the starters. First, for the Ateneo De Manila Blue Eagles. At off guard number 24, Aaron Black. Point guard number 34, Tyler Tio. At center number 18, G-Boy Babylonia. Power forward number 14, Chris Potter. And at forward number 030, Robhena. Head coach of the Blue Eagles is Sandy Arespaco-Chaga with team consultant Tab Baldwin. And now let's meet the only undefeated team in this league here on the De La Salle Green Archers. Off guard number 13, Andre Caracot. Point guard number 18, Thomas Torres. At center number 23, Ben Imbala. Power forward number 5, Abu Trenner. And at forward number 21, Sharon Teng. Head coach of the Green Archers, Alvin Ayo. The officials for this ball game, Ferdinand Bong Pascual, Francisco Olivar Jr., and Anthony Robles.
And we're set with the starting 5 of De La Salle and Ateneo. Going to be very interesting how this new look teams of the Green Archers and the Blue Eagles will play out. Your 40-minute meeting, barring any overtime situation. 40-minute meeting in the FilOil Flying V Preseason Premier Cup. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Thank you for joining us on ABS-CBN Sports in Action. Alden Ayo talking about implementing that Letran up-tempo style as soon as he took over as head coach of the De La Salle Green Archers, and we see the work of Ben Mbala initially missing from close range, but he seems to be a handful inside the paint, Christian.
He's going to be a handful for any team this season. Arguably, he's the most dominant guy we've seen so far this preseason, as you see a nice steal by Torres to finish with a nice layup. But this guy, Mbala, you know, he's big. He's got good size. He's got good footwork. But what's really impressive for me after seeing him a couple games this preseason is his tenacity, especially on defense. Makita mo, hinahabol pa niya yung mga blocks kahit na malayo pa siya. He's always communicating. He's a chatterbox for that. I think the defense is going to be the key this season for La Salle to get back into that Final Four.
And that is why they are so far undefeated in the FilOil Preseason Premier Cup.
Oh, talk about a guy that you expect to perform. Tyler Tio, this guy is going to be special the next 5 years for the UAP. As we see a nice monster jam.
Much more special is that jam by Ben Mbala on the rebound in one swift motion, making it a 4-2 advantage for DLSU. And let's check in right now with Laura Lehman.
Eric and Christian, this may be the classic Ateneo La Salle game that we all know and love, but it is also a very different in many ways. I spoke with Coach Sandy, and he said that this Ateneo team is completely different. For starters, they're not even sure who is eligible to play, and they don't even have a final lineup. This preseason is really all about testing the waters. Secondly, Coach Tab has also changed the team system and team dynamics. The players love it, but they also need time to adjust to the changes. But whatever the case, it's about growth and experience, and so we could definitely see a lot of different lineups and formations from Ateneo today. That's all for now, Eric and Christian.
All right, thank you, Lau. We will try to determine how different Ateneo is going to be playing throughout the game today. Haynes, cool player of the quarter. Haynes, America's first name in comfort at putback jam by Ben Mbala. And in the earlier playing, 30 Ravenna caught stepping on the line. Here's Trotter. Fouled inside as he was making his move.
Number 14, Chris Potter is first.
You know, this is one guy, Eric, that you can expect to perform better this season, Trotter. And not only because individually of the time that they had this offseason, but because I think of the presence of Mbala. Takes a lot more pressure off of him. Obviously, with Mbala inside, pinagsasabay sila ni Coach Ayo in this 4-game stretch so far. That takes a lot of pressure out of him. He's more confident in his moves, as we saw right there. This guy is going to have a better season for sure.
Trotter, 2 for 2 at the line, making it a 6-2 game in the first quarter. And tama ka dun, Christian, I mean, getting a lot of attention will be Mbala for sure, down low, freeing up the other bigs of LaSalle, including Trotter. Here comes Torres. Great defense by Ateneo coming down. Torres fumbles initially, 17 seconds on the shot clock. Torres underneath. How can the little man come inside and just easily put it in? Like a walk in the park for Tomas Torres, who's always been wily and quick with a dribble. Finding a way, not lifting the dribble, keeping it alive. 10 on the shot clock. Tyler Teo. Oh, caught by Mbala. And that's what you were talking about, Christian. That tenacity, that never say or never quit kind of defense. Block of the game brought to you by Total Excellium, the fuel that leads your engine kilometer after kilometer. He got beat off the dribble by Teo, pero he chased it down and denied Teo. Ravena from outside. Wala, and Mbala skying high again for another rebound. Teng, so far quiet here. Ravena, Teng. Although it is a different Ravena now, guarding Jeron, much bigger version of the Ravenas. Let's go to Janine Choi.
Eric and Christian, after a decision was made that Gib Montalvo be suspended and also not be able to play in the team's game against the San Beda Red Lions, Kim said that he simply just accepted the consequences and just move on. Past is past, and he's very much focused in today's game. In fact, he actually has been doing extra shots and extra work inside the gym. Also, being one of the seniors in the team, he wants to be a vocal leader in helping the team defensively and also by building up and sustaining the team's energy inside the court. Back to you, Eric and Christian.
All right, thank you, Janine. It's a 6-point advantage for LaSalle right now in the first quarter against Ateneo. And you see a good-sized crowd gathered inside the arena in San Juan. Despite the stormy weather, too, a pretty strong outburst of rain. Mga 3 o'clock. And I believe they're in to watch the game, and aside from that, maybe sightsee and take a gander at a Laker. We'll see. We'll confirm details, but that's been the rumors and the reports going around.
Sana magkatotoo yung rumor na yun.
It's an 8-2 advantage. Make that a 9-2 advantage. Jeron Teng at the line, 1st and 2, and there's the Teng family as usual.
The Teng dynasty.
And the appearance of Ben Mbala will definitely lift a lot of the load as well off the shoulders of Jeron Teng, that's for sure.
He's going to be the biggest impact player in the league this season. Not only in the league, but for their team. We talked about the impact that he's going to have with Trotter, not only with him, but for everybody. As you see, a nice stretch layup by 30. Especially for Jeron Teng, I thought a lot of the, scoring details last year. Si Jeron ang nagdadala. So far ngayon, Mbala and Jeron scoring 23 apiece so far. And it's just going to improve their team overall.
Mbala with his 4th point of the game right there. Black. Here comes Karakut with a leather. Karakut bumping into Trotter. That's going to come up short. Porter collared the loose ball with Trotter hanging all over him. Taking a look at 30, who missed last season because of scholastic reasons. But he's back here and is competing. And his performance so far, Christian, as you take a look at Mbala here, his performance showing us how hard he worked in the offseason to get his game better. Porter, the reverse, yes.
From Tyler Teo.
Well, in my opinion, baka napaganda pa para kay 30 yun. His sit-out last year, since he's still a young gun. that year when he sat out, it took a lot of time for him to practice, to get bigger, to get faster, to improve on his skill set. And with the exit of his brother, and not only Keeper but also Vaughn, builds up a spot that they need right now.
But Trotter, along with Mbala, these guys are just killing Ateneo on the boards. They take the leather away. Almost another steal there. A lazy pass from 30. Here's Black driving. Puts it up a little too early, and Mbala taking the air ball away. Torres. Thomas Torres banging bodies on the drive. Trotter, oh wow, just total dominance on the boards by La Salle against Ateneo. Right now, Ateneo is short by 3 rebounds against La Salle. That's how dominant Green Archers have been on the boards. Trotter and Mbala. I mean, if you're Ateneo, Christian, you're big man, what do you do? Well, one of the things is put in Ike for sure. That's going to help a little bit. But how do you box out two of these very active, strong bodies from inside the paint?
Well, number one, you got to stop dribble penetration. For La Salle, guys like Torres, Teng, Garakot had been very aggressive. It opens up the lane. It puts a body away from Mbala and from Trotter. So even if it's a miss, it's a wide open offensive rebound.
Please clear that area.
Now the biggest lead of La Salle at 10 points, 16 to 6.
Take your pictures later during timeouts. Please clear that area.
And
thank you.
As we mentioned earlier, Lakers superstar Jordan Clarkson is in the house. And this reports of him making an appearance here been going the rounds of social media, and that's attracted so many of the basketball fans inside the FilOil Flying V Arena.
Sinubukan pang mag-disguise nung nasa airport, as I saw on his post. But alam naman natin, especially as a Filipino American, it's hard not to be known, especially if you're a Laker.
All right. Back to the game at hand. 5:17 remaining in the first quarter. And right now, Ateneo's got to solve a lot of problems, Christian, rebounding and their offense getting stalled as well, because it's difficult to drive against the combination of Trotter and Mbala defensively.
Tama ka dyan, Eric. And I think, with Ateneo, even with a depleted lineup, so to speak, a lot of their stars not showing up today, or we don't know if Coach Todd's even going to use them for academic reasons. He just got to keep playing. Again, it gives him a feel for the other team. It's tough to play a La Salle right now, especially after what happened last season, being eliminated and being short from the Final Four. You just see the fire in their eyes, even if it's preseason. And this is not only because they're going up against, their rival, the Blue Eagles. They've been like this since day one of the FilOil Pre Season. This team is just on a mission.
La Salle finishing 5th in the last UAAP season. Ateneo made it to the Final Four, placing 3rd, but got eliminated by FEU in the Final Four. Still a 10-point lead for La Salle here. Seem to be coasting along in the first quarter. There's been a lot of talk about CJ Perez, the acquisition of CJ Perez by Ateneo, and how he's going to fare. But that's one of the things we have to determine if we're going to see him today. Now, bagit mo nga, Christian, there are certain players who may not see action because of academic reasons, as Mbala just powering his way inside. Didn't get the basket, but you can see how many bodies Ateneo had to put against him to prevent the shot. 30 against the outstretched hands of Trotter, puts it in. Here's Montalvo, who served out his 1-game suspension in the ball game. Attempts from outside, way off. Ball last touched by Rivera.
9 seconds to shoot.
Eight-point game with Under 4 minutes left to play. Ball almost lost. Karakut has it. Karakut comes up short. But Montalvo has the leather. Teng fades away. No. Finally, Ateneo collars the defensive rebound. Nieto. Bounce pass. Ike. Yes.
It's a smart play that time by Nieto. And a nice run by Chibuzi Ike from the defensive end and sprinting back into the offensive end for that easy 2.
Ateneo making a 4-point run here to cut the deficit to 6. Back at the FilOil Flying V Arena in San Juan for the preseason Premier Cup, covered live and exclusive by ABS-CBN Sports and Action. Eric Tipan with Christian Luanzon, and also courtside we have Laura Liman and Janine Choi, the crowd here at the venue. Looking forward to a great match against two of the top teams in the UAAP, and there's Jordan Clarkson, we mentioned, making an appearance. Lakers superstar checking out the action, collegiate action in the country. Trotter, oh, and Mbala picks up the miss and puts it in one swift move yet again.
We're only in the first quarter and that's 2 follow-up dunks already. Anong preseason ang sinasabi nyo, Eric at Christian?
What a highlight here. And this was with bodies all around as well. Look at Trotter. Attack kamikaze style, then Bala comes in from the other side to put it in. Play brought to you by Total Excellium, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer. Didn't matter if Ike was there. He just jumped over it.
And after the timeout, Ateneo went to a half-court trap. A good decision by Trotter not to settle para maitawid lang yung bola, but to attack the defense. Again, dribble penetration, even though if it was a missed shot, you force a Chibuzi Ike to help. Result, not so good.
18-11. First quarter coming down to 3:10 remaining. Whistle away from the ball here.
It's an offensive foul.
Offensive foul number 5, Abu Trotter.
Foul's going to be on Trotter. Six points for Trotter and 6 for Mbala. Those two lead the way for the Green Archers, but Trotter is going to get some rest here as Prince Rivero checks in.
Prince Rivero for Abu Trotter.
That turnover right there by Tolentino, trying to break the press by himself. That's one of the frustrations. I had a chance to talk to Coach Stabs. It's one of the frustrations he mentioned of when to dribble and when not to dribble your way out of a trap. Not only against the LaSalle team, but against every team, because almost every team puts ball pressure from full court already.
Ike underneath, going up against Mbala, too strong, and the rebound in the hands of the Green Archers. Teng on the outlet. Teng underneath, way too deep. But still, the Green Archers come up with a leather. Although there's a traveling violation on Montalvo as he came up with both feet falling down. Could have been a chance for LaSalle to put up their biggest lead of the game. Take a look at Montalvo here. Falling down, gets both feet off the ground. Got called for a traveling violation.
Warning on the
I'm not sure if that's a right call right there, but nonetheless, it was still called. The concern right now, if I'm Ateneo, is their defense. With 2 minutes and 27 in the first, giving up 20 points already.
Coach Stab Baldwin and assistant coach Sandy Aras-Pacochaga talking intently with one another on the bench of Ateneo. 30. Difficult shot against Mbala. And Rivero comes up with a loose ball. 20-11. Chance to make it an 11-point advantage here. Mbala spots up. Rebound with Ravenna. Go ahead pass to Nieto. Nieto attacking. There's going to be a foul on Go.
Grabe tong si Mbala, Eric. Parang hindi napapagod. You know, before that shot, he had an early seal. But still, he got good position at the post. He missed the shot. And then from one end to the other, he comes up with a block. That just shows
Two shots for
a lot in
Matt
terms of not only
Nieto.
talent but also character to sprint down and to go for that block.
And like what we talked about, Christian, walang pinapalampas si Mbala, no? Regardless of whether or not there was a call, as you take a look at the Tab Baldwin to your right and Sandy Pacochaga, both are coordinating with one another as to how to properly get this team together. Down by 8 right now. We see rookie Aljan Melesio from De La Salle Zobel enter the floor for the first time today. Rivero, pretty move, just short on the reverse. Mbala forcing his way against two bodies, two Blue Eagles, and gets the benefit of the call.
And what a luxury if you're Coach Ayo. Your main man is on the weak side, talking about Mbala. But you go to the post of Paulo Rivero, who we all know has the skill set and the tools also, one-on-one on the post. Again, it opens up offensive rebound. I think the key for this year, for LaSalle's success, is dominating on the boards. Dominating every game on the board. That's going to be key for them.
And so far, that's exactly what they're showing here today. It's going to be interesting to see how much they out-rebound Ateneo at the half after 20 minutes of action. Mbala, 2 for 2 at the line. Another look. Coach Tab, Coach Sandy, Assistant Coach Sandy. Bounce pass, Ike underneath.
Nice job that time by Chibuzi Ige, just taking his time and not being afraid of the presence of Mbala, giving him a nice head fake for that too.
Rivero patiently looking for somebody to pass to. Montalvo down to Mbala, guarded by Ike. 6 seconds to shoot. Mbala attacks. Unable to put it in, but they get a fresh 14 here. Melesio outside. Black collars the loose ball. A minute remaining. Black against Jologo. Aaron Black goes to Ike. 15 on the shot clock for Ateneo. There's a drive and an offensive foul against the Blue Eagles.
Offensive foul number 5, it's Tolentino.
Great position by Montalvo there to draw the foul on Tolentino. Rivero guarded by Ike. There's a switch. Rivero short, 0 for 2. Prince Rivero coming off the bench for LaSalle. Here's Wong. Down to Ike. Ike triple teamed. They get it out to Wong. Wong, 9 to shoot for Ateneo. Wong nowhere to go, passes it out. Shot too strong. LaSalle with 5 seconds on the game clock. Turnover there by Jologo. And time will expire.
At the end of
the first quarter, we see LaSalle dominating on the boards against Ateneo. An early steal by Thomas Torres set the tone, Christian. But Ateneo, despite being undersized, is showing a lot of heart here in the first quarter. But they've got their work cut out for them, trying to defend that. Couple of monster dunks already for Mbala. 30 Ravenna has been good here in the first quarter, but still a 22-14 LaSalle lead against Ateneo after 10 minutes. Back here at the FilOil Flying V Arena in San Juan, Ateneo find themselves down by 8, 22-14. Ravenna with 4 points. Ravenna combined for 8 of Ateneo's 14. Mbala leads the way for LaSalle with 8 points. And Trotter close second with 6. Second quarter underway, and there's a tiki-tack foul by Melesio.
Melesio, his first one on De La Salle. 17 seconds on the shot clock. (16 to shoot).
13 on the shot clock. There's a trap on Almond. Ike travels.
That's one thing Ike has to improve on. As soon as he gets the ball, he has to decide right away what to do with it. That time, shuffled his feet.
Let's go to Janine Choi.
Eric and Christian for team captain Jeron Teng. Defense is a priority against Ateneo. He added that he knows that they need to put more effort on both ends of the court and also play hard until the end of this ball game. He added that every college rivalry game fuels them to play even better because they want to make a statement game. Co-captain Thomas Torres added that for this to be possible, they must do three things. Follow the game plan, move the ball, and be patient offensively and defensively. That's all for now from the LaSalle side. Eric and Christian.
All right, thank you, Janine. So far, they're moving the ball well, and they're really crashing the boards. That's one of the things that's been really helping LaSalle control this first half. Montalvo finds an opening inside the paint, and that short jumper is good.
And this is one guy that the Archers also missed last season. I thought aside from Mbala missing his rookie season last year, Montalvo was a key guy also, especially in that point guard duties. But now for this season, aside from Montalvo, Melesio is there to fill in the spot. It gives a lot of breathing room for Torres also, who to me, his natural spot is a two guard.
Nice cut by Montalvo, and he puts it in. Wow, Montalvo on a bit of a roll here to start the second quarter for LaSalle, and really getting their offense going by moving well without the ball and cutting and finding the opening. Haynes, cool play of the quarter. Haynes, America's first name in comfort. Kinaliwa pa yon. And with a foul, Montalvo at the line for the bonus shot. And right now, LaSalle with their biggest lead of the game at 12 points. Make that 13 with a completed traditional three-point play. Shaggy Almond trap. They get it across barely. Ravena. There's trapping defense here by LaSalle. Babilonia goes to the weak side. Black high arcing three-pointer is an air ball. And Melesio comes away with it. Melesio 1 against 4. Melesio stops, pops, is fouled by Babilonia. Elbows flying around there. Gob and Almond. Let's go to Lauro Liman.
You know, Eric and Christian, the Blue Eagles aren't exactly on their A game, and although it's not an excuse, this may be due to their very busy schedule. This is actually their 4th game and only 4 days since they've been playing in different summer leagues. And in fact, one of those games was just this morning. So yes, some of these players are doing double duty. Now, the boys should be used to this with Coach Tab's training, but you have to admit that it's still difficult, especially against a team like LaSalle. The Archers have energy, they're committing to the press, and the question is, will Ateneo have the legs? Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Lau. So far, they're just being out-hustled here by LaSalle, partly because of LaSalle's bigger bodies, Christian.
Right on the money, yung report ni Laura. No wonder why so far the slow start from Ateneo. I mean, to play 4 games in 5 days is not an excuse because it's only preseason. But you know, reality is your legs are going to be tired, even your mind sometimes.
Offensive ball number 10, Alzon Melesio.
Right now, it's a 29-16 ball game with 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Almond, nowhere to go. Finally gets it off his hands. And what a drive by Nieto.
Defensive breakdown right there for LaSalle. No weak side help. It was late, which allows Mike Nieto to do what he does best. This guy, his natural position during high school was at that 4 spot. Knows how to finish, has a nice touch. I think it's just a matter of time for Mike. you know, to fit in a Tab Baldwin system and in that 3 spot as well.
Here's Montalvo, and bodies flying around now as Prince Rivero falls down after contact with Babilonia.
Tyler Joe for Mike Nieto. 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Or Matt Nieto will sit down. And Tyler Cho comes back in for Ateneo. There's a quick shot by Montalvo. That's a 3.
You just gotta love the aggressiveness of Montalvo, showing different aspects of his game. From the array of layups that we see right to left and right there. Catch and shoot off the baseline inbound play.
And Montalvo has just really improved vastly and continues to do so each and every year. Christian comes in with something new to his game all the time. Montalvo, 8 points, all scored in the second quarter. Torres comes in for his stead. Torres pulls up, misses from outside. Aaron Black with the rebound. Tyler Cho, ball taken away by Montalvo. 2 on 1 break there. And it's going to be a foul on Ateneo.
Foul number 0.
Just being careless with the basketball right now. Are the Blue Eagles, they can't be like this. If they want to get back in this game, they have to do a better job. Itawid ang bola, but at the same time, to get in there and set their offense. So far, the quality of shots, except for that 3-point play from Matt Nieto, has only been the bright spot so far.
And you also got to give credit to the kind of defense, pesky defense La Salle has been playing, Christian. They've been in the passing lanes, their quick hands, slapping the ball away all the time, really disrupting the offense of Ateneo.
Again, I think that's the effect of an Imbala. Every time you have a big guy in the anchor in that shaded lane, yung confidence mo tumataas. It allows you to pressure the basketball more. Kahit na medyo maiwanan ka ng bahagya, at the back of your mind, you know there's a big guy waiting as an insurance for your team.
Well, Shaggy Allen with the basket there. That's a much-needed 3 for Ateneo. They're down by 13 right now, and 6:36 remaining in the first half. Torres. Rivero, fronted by Tio. Another attempt, third attempt here or third possession at least for La Salle. What a catch and what a putback for Ben Imbala, Christian.
Eye to the sky play right there between Torres and Imbala. Wasting no time of familiarity. Even though ngayon lang maglalaro si Imbala, he's been with the team for almost 2 years already, if I'm not mistaken.
What a pass. But you gotta credit how the athleticism again of Imbala, how deep he was underneath the basket already almost, and he had to bend over backwards just to get a look at the basket. Here's 30. Reverse, no good. And Imbala right there for the rebound. Well, it started with his defense and then the rebound. 36-21. Corner shot. Imbala. Wait a minute.
He was pushed. It's probably all you can do right now by the way he's playing.
Flying and flailing around.
This guy is a big dude.
He's a bad man as well on the basketball court. 36-21, La Salle over Ateneo in the first half. The Green Archers, 14 points in the second quarter. Ateneo only with 7 points in this quarter. Halfway, a little more than halfway to go. And so far, that's been the story, Christian. That's just the aggressiveness of La Salle, allowing them to get more possessions with defensive or offensive rebounding. And Imbala's been a big major contributor to that.
Certainly, and you got to give credit to, just like what you mentioned, Eric, to La Salle's defense. But at the same time, I think the issue right now, or the challenge that Coach Tab is going to have to face, is who will he rely scoring-wise for this team. I think this preseason, it allows you to determine, to test the waters a little bit, experiment with your lineup, kung sino talaga yung yung maaasahan mo scoring-wise. I think that's the issue ngayon with the exit of Kiefer Ravena and Bon Pesumal. It's going to take a collective effort on their part in the system of Coach Tab for them to be an effective team this season.
So far, nobody with more than four points for Ateneo in this game. And LaSalle, by the way, is 12 for 12 at the line. That's short para kay Rivero.
And this is one guy that's a part of that rich tradition family.
Right, younger brother
from the Rivero family. Two guys who really play differently. Obviously, Richie is the more athletic one for those who don't know him. Medyo mataas lang naman siya tumalon. Kaya niya mag-between the legs dunk. Aside from his athleticism, he does a lot of that. He has a nice outside shot. He has a good basketball IQ for the game. Let's see if he's going to have playing time this season for Coach Ayo.
And Bala working his way inside. And there's going to be a foul on Go.
Foul number 11, Isaac
Just
Go, his first.
with a plethora of moves. Look at Mbala. Fake, go up and under.
For Ben Mbala.
And prior to that, he kept that possession alive by tapping the ball to Jeron Teng, who gave it back to him on the post. So he just does so many of the tiny little intangibles for LaSalle, and we're seeing it right now, even before the start of the UAAP season. He's not holding back.
Why would you? And last year mo pa inaantay ko. You've been waiting for more than a year already. And the UAP is just around the corner. Magjujun na, and we only have, what, 2 or 3 months left before the UAAP. And he's probably the most exciting guy. Yung pinaka-excited na mag-start ng UAAP. Itong si Mbala, kitang-kita naman sa laro.
Right. And to say that LaSalle is getting better would probably be an understatement right now, because they're right now at their peak, it seems to me, with the way they're moving, their chemistry. It seems like they've accepted that new system by Coach Alden Ayo, and they've acclimatized to it immediately. Karakut to Teng. Teng faking inside. What a pass! In traffic to Trotter, and Trotter, what a reverse, Christian.
And that's one thing on top of Jeron Teng's game that I think it has been underrated or under the radar the past few years. His passing ability, just a nifty pass, bounce pass right there. That's a tough pass to make.
Also a difficult shot there by Black to get that basket against the defense of Trotter. Biggest lead was 21, down to 19. Teng from 15, no good. Black spinning, one-hander. There's Porter on the turnaround, yes. Porter with 4 points, but still a dominant first half so far for LaSalle, 42-25 against Ateneo. Good afternoon from the FilOil Flying V Arena in San Juan for the preseason Premier Cup. We're towards the tail end of the elimination round, and we're close to entering the quarterfinals. The top 4 teams will cross over and go up against their counterparts in the other group. There are only 2 groups here out of 16 teams, so we're divided into 8. As you look at that bounce pass by Teng to Trotter for the beautiful layup underneath the basket. They tried to go alley-oop with Mbala. Mbala, what a difficult catch, but he stepped out of bounds.
Nice play off a timeout right there. Just resulted in a turnover. Karakut being a decoy off that down screen.
Cho putting up a 3. Karakut, 3-on-1 here. Teng spins.
Offensive foul.
There's an offensive foul. An elbow by Teng. Inadvertently caught Tio right on the throat.
From one Savior standout to another. You just gotta love the program of that Savior school right there. It's like every year, hindi sila nauubusan ng players to produce in the UAAP and even in the NCAA.
14 on the shot clock. Porter doesn't get the bounce. Trotter took it away from Ike and will stay with Ateneo.
On the shot clock.
With 14 on the shot clock, Trotter just revitalized and rejuvenated this season. You didn't see him as aggressive and as active last year. And it seems like the next season in the UAP is going to be much more fun for Trotter with the presence of Mbala.
He's in better shape, definitely. But I thought last year, to me, he did well in a sense that the only thing he struggled with was his role on the team. I thought the first 3 games of the season last year.
Take a look at that pass muna. Christian, ano? Total excelli of the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer.
But I'm not sure if he's in his sophomore or what was he in his rookie season last year. But you know, by the way he played last season, he was trying to figure things out under Coach Juno. I think it's just perfect timing for him with Mbala this season. Coming into this season takes a lot of pressure off of him. It allows him to operate and to be more confident. The way he moves on the post, because you know at the backside of it you have a big guy to get the boards also.
And that's the worry of Tab Baldwin taking over the reins after the departure of Bo Parasol. And he's in constant consultation with assistant coach Sandy Arespa-Cochaga, by the way.
Ang tanong doon kung English or Tagalog ang Taglish. You know, I had a chance to talk to Coach Tav, and marunong siya mag-Tagalog kahit konti. Very impressive for his short stint so far dito sa Pilipinas. Kitang-kita mo naman na yung puso niya is for the Philippines also.
Ravena missing from outside. Ike trying to keep it alive. It will stay with Ateneo. What an effort there against Mbala by Ateneo's Ike. Fresh 14 for the Blue Eagles. Ravena trying to cut back door. Ike. Ball tapped away by Mbala. Ateneo or LaSalle on the run. Mbala fouled on the way to the basket. That's an end-one situation again. Ben Mbala. 16 points, 1 block, 7 rebounds for Ben Mbala.
And that's a rookie mistake right there by Tyler Teo. If you're gonna foul, you gotta foul hard na rin. But at the same time, if it's an Mbala you're gonna foul, I think it's hard to determine kung ano yung lakas na ibibigay mo if you're a guard like Tyler Teo. Would it really affect him?
It's like trying to tackle a linebacker. I can't even imagine what kind of strength you're going to have to use to slow down Ben Mbala on a break like that.
It's probably going to take 2 guards from Ateneo to prevent.
I can even put you in there along with Tyler Teo. And I don't think both of you can stop Mbala on a break like that.
I'm not even attempting.
You could get yourself hurt
unless Bo Belga is on my team.
There's Coach Sandy on your right, Coach Tab on your left. 45-29 is the LaSalle lead. Under 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Montalvo tiptoeing on the sideline. Teng now guarded by Ravena. How many times have you heard that throughout the UAP seasons? Karakut. Ball got tapped away. It will stay with LaSalle with 14 on the shot clock. Ravena guarding Teng. Teng on the move, and ball tapped out of bounds by 30.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
Karakut will trigger the ball into play here. 45-29 LaSalle against Ateneo. Teng open. Yes.
They're on 10.
You just gotta love the solid play that Teng has been showing right now. Silently not only putting points on the board, but having an impact on the game. You know, you would think with Mbala coming in, you know, if Teng would get his touches, would able to produce more, I think it's gonna help him a lot, because making him the number 2 option on this team is not so bad when your number 2 option is Jeron Teng. Because think about it, you know, Jeron's strength obviously is dribble penetration, attacking the basket. If you're the guy guarding Mbala, you would always think twice. You're always faced with that decision if you're going to help or not. And we've seen in this first half, that's why LaSalle has this big lead. It's because of his guys like Ike. Nagdadalawang isip kung i-help o hindi because every time they help, 2 follow-up monster dunks right there.
Jeron Teng, so far 6 points. Mbala with 17. Montalvo with 8. And Trotter also with 8. In the meantime, for Ateneo, only Ike has 8 points. And everyone else with 4 and 3. Quick catch and shoot with one hand. Mbala missing. Stepping out of bounds there. Ateneo turns the ball over right back. That's Matt Nieto.
One thing that you got to be impressed also, you know, as a coach, Eric, it's so easy to fall into that temptation when you have a gem like Mbala to just give in the ball and do the work. You know, but if you see the set plays and how they run their plays, you know, for LaSalle, they really run through a lot of screens. That's why Mbala is getting to deep position as we see a nice drive by Nieto off the fast break. But you know, Mbala, if he gets the ball deep in the post majority of the game, it's just a nightmare for anyone or any team that's going up against him.
Mbala giving it up to Karakut. Karakut hesitating, got his man off and puts that short jumper in.
And right there, that's the one that I've been talking about. As soon as Karakut made a nice up fake, Ike, nagdalawang isip kung i-help siya kay Karakut. Doesn't help because he's scared to leave Mbala. Nice 2 by Karakut.
And nice 3 by Adrian Wong para sa Ateneo. Trimming this deficit to 14. Ravenna hard defensively on Teng. Teng gets away. Puts it up with a hand in his face. Rebound with Ravenna. 17 seconds left. Ateneo opting for the final shot here and bodies on the ground again. Uh-oh. Ike, Karakut falling down. There are whistles blowing. 2 officials are talking about calls that are going to be made here.
I think at one point in the game we were expecting something like this.
Number 13.
Well, it's been
The
very
Archers and the
physical.
Eagles.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is the previous play. Ravenna brings it down. Now let's take a look at the extracurricular activity. Ike and Mbala, and then Karakut got caught in the crossfire there. I'd hate to be Karakut with Ike landing on you.
Can you imagine 2 6'10" guys playing tag? That's how it looked like right there.
You're in the middle.
Not the best spot to be in if you're Karakut.
So Ike getting a round of boos from the LaSalle crowd inside the venue.
Let's just hope that he's like a Draymond Green who likes the booze also.
Montalvo, 5 to shoot. Teng cuts, reverse, is good.
What a play.
Wong, no more time to put that one up.
51 to
Terrific time presence right there by Montalvo, and terrific smart cut by Teng to finish out the quarter strong.
17 points for Ben Mbala along with 7 rebounds. Leading the way for DLSU on the other hand. Ike with 8. Ravenna has 4 but hasn't scored beyond the first quarter. Right now it's a 51-35 Green Archers lead against the Blue Eagles at the end of the first half of the FilOil Flying V Preseason Premier Cup. Welcome back to the FilOil Flying V Premier Cup dito sa ABS-CBN Sports and Action. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. And we are at the half, 51-35 in favor of LaSalle against Ateneo. And I'm Eric Tipan alongside Christian Luanzon. Mbala with 17 points and Ike with 8 points. That's the discrepancy between the big guys ng parehong koponan. And also big discrepancy is the rebounding situation between these two teams and the hustle that LaSalle has been playing against Ateneo in the first 20 minutes.
And if you're Coach Tab, aside from the score, forget about the score. I'm sure that's not his concern right now. The question is the effort that his team is putting in. Just complete domination by the Archers in that first half. 34-18, giving up 17 offensive rebounds. We talked about rebounding being the strength and the key for LaSalle. You know, but 17 offensive rebounds also means 17 extra possessions. And that's a no-no if you're talking about effort. They have to do a better job coming in the second half if they want to make this a ball game.
And you're looking at the highlights that was kicked off by a slam dunk by Mbala. A couple of slam dunks in the first half. Ravenna with 4 points. That's 30 Ravenna. And these highlights brought to you by Chooks to Go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. There have been few and far between para sa Ateneo, but for LaSalle, there have been plenty to go around. That included Mbala. We talked about Montalvo, Trotter, Teng. They've all been contributing to the cause of the Green Archers, and it's been an all-around effort despite the dominant performance so far of Ben Mbala.
Well, it's the Mbala effect. That's why guys like Montalvo, we know what we're gonna get out of Jeron Teng. He's proven it all throughout the years, all throughout itong college years. Yeah, but a guy like Montalvo, who I believe has been truly missed also from coming from last season injury. I think the key for LaSalle this season is going to be consistency and health. And kahit ngayon, preseason pa lang, they're playing like it's their last game, and it's a good sign so far for Coach Ayo.
You take a look at the stats at the half, Christian.
Well, field goals so far 47, that's plus 15 compared to 32 of Ateneo. Just shows the aggressiveness itong Archers. A lot of that is because of the 17 offensive rebounds they have. Free throws, wow, 16 of 16. Offensive rebounds, we mentioned that. Points off turnovers, again, complete domination by the Archers. But you know what? The way that game was played in the first half, you would feel na etong Ateneo would be down by 25, 30 points, but they're only down by 16. Very manageable. I think what's crucial is how they start this third quarter.
Well, biggest lead for LaSalle was 21, but Ateneo, they've been able to chip it down ever so slightly. But in terms of performance by the Blue Eagles, Christian, you've got Ravenna with 4, Porter with 4, Nieto with 4, Black with 4 as well. Only Ike, like what we mentioned, scoring near double digits. But how do they get more productive, be more efficient as a team against these Green Archers?
Well, it has to start on the defensive end. We talked about the effort. We talked about the pag-communicate nila, of stopping dribble penetration, of putting a body on guys, not only Mbala, but Trotter. Trotter had 5 rebounds in that first half. And their energy, they gotta pick up the energy. I thought they started out the game flat, but you know, games are won in the second half. Let's see if they come up with better energy this second half.
All right, third quarter just underway. Teng driving. He's on the floor along with Karakut, Torres, Mbala, and Trotter. Ateneo has Cho, Babilonia, Porter, Black, and Ravenna. 7 seconds to shoot for the Green Archers. And Mbala losing it. Cho is fouled by Karakut, preventing an easy 2 for Ateneo and for them to get off to a good start in the third quarter.
And a good foul right there by Karakut to stop what could possibly be a starting momentum for the Eagles. And I thought it was a wasted opportunity for Tyler, as I saw Black. I thought Black was wide open for a layup if he saw him on the pass.
Porter started to cut, but Cho started to pass as well. And that results in a turnover for the Blue Eagles. Wasted opportunity to, tulad nga na sabi mo, Christian, to get off to a good start. Now an opportunity for LaSalle to pad this 16-point advantage right now. Babilonia is on Trotter. Trotter, oh, a bunch of moves again. That close to the basket, though, he misses. Take a look at how Black is just tackled by Embala and Teng. Let's go to this report by Janine Choi.
Eric and Christian, according to Coach Alden Ayo, he was not aware of the LaSalle and Ateneo rivalry until they played against the Blue Eagles earlier this year in a different tournament. He said that based on his experience, the rivalry he knows entails you to play your pride and play the basketball you know. Earlier inside the dugout, Coach told the boys that every time they execute, something good happens. Even Coach Paulo Sauler said that they should not stop on playing intense defense on the floor. Back to you, Eric and Christian.
All right, thank you, Janine. I love how you see Coach Ayo downplays the Ateneo LaSalle rivalry. But I'm sure he knows the history and he knows what's at stake every time these two teams meet. Trapped was Ravenna, gets it off his hands. Here's Porter open from the corner. Yes. You see Trotter trying to get a good position and a seal on Porter very early. Embala stops and pops. And Ravenna with a loose ball. Karakot slapping it away from his hands. Here's another double team coming. Black is open. Black drives. Good clear out by Babylonia for that easy access for Aaron Black.
Ang ganda naman ginawa ni Babylonia doon. Pinapakita niya na humingi siya ng bola, trying to get a seal. That is actually a screen to free up the lane for a wide open layup for Black.
Nice move. Quick first step by Trotter against Porter. And Trotter now in double digits with 10. Black with 6 points. Pulls out, guarded by Torres. Let's go to Laura Lehman.
Eric and Christian, today is actually not the first time this month that these rivals are going head-to-head. Just a few weeks ago, they faced each other in another summer league. Now, Ateneo may have lost, but Coach Sandy said it was a vital learning experience. They were able to scout the Archers, and they were able to see that these guys really play with a lot of intensity. Up against their press, you need to have energy, and you need to be alert at all instances. There is no downtime, and in the huddle, Coach Tab even added, "Get there, do not ball watch." He noticed that the young ones had fading confidence and said, "We are here to win." That's all for now, guys.
All right, thank you, Lau. Well, it is really something to behold right now, seeing how LaSalle is playing, how cohesive they are in just the first few months under Coach Alden Ayo, and how improved they've become with the entry of Embala as well. And tama nga si Coach Tab yun. Don't watch, don't be amazed. You're part of the game. So do what you can. Be in your positions. Be good defensively. Here's Embala on the post against Babylonia. What a spin. Oh, wow. Babylonia was left just taking in the dust of that spin by Embala.
Babylonia has to do a better job of where to send. Etong si Embala, I thought the possession before this dunk right here, as you see a nice two-hand dunk, nagiging regular na ang dunk for this game for Embala. I thought the possession before that, you know, Babylonia was trying to send baseline, but the double came from the middle, just miscommunication right there on their defense. But they're going to learn that through time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just, I mean, second beating between these two teams, like what Laura Lehman reported. So, not a lot of court time between, you know, players. So, siyempre, tulad nga na sabi mo, Christian, more meetings with one another, and you get familiar with the moves of your opponent. A lot more scouting report, perhaps, as well, will definitely help these Blue Eagles. 6 points para kay Ravenna after knocking in that short jumper right in the face of Teng earlier. Karakut with a fake misses.
You just gotta love the activity of Rivero, Prince Rivero right there. You know, the greatest thing for me, for Rivero, aside from being a great rebounder, is his activity inside the shaded lane. He's always has a nose for the ball.
Foul on Tio as Teng attracted the double team, freeing up Embala for the cut.
2 shots for Ben.
That's when you appreciate the play before that, what Rivero did for your team. It gives you an extra possession, and an extra possession results into scoring opportunities for these free throws by Embala.
So far, Ike is still the leading scorer for Ateneo with 8 points. Black with 6, Porter and Ravenna also with 6 apiece. Trapping defense here by LaSalle. Takes it away from Ravenna. 4 against 1 here. Mbala, yes.
And Mbala.
Pinakita rin na marunong siyang lumayap. He lost the layup. The ball slipped right there. He wanted to stuff that also.
Exactly. I don't even know if that was intended, an intended layup. He wanted to dunk it, but he lost it on the way up. Let's take another look here. Karakot leading the break. Passes it off. Yeah, he kind of lost it on the way up. Haynes, cool play of the quarter from America's first name in comfort, Haynes.
You know, I got a feeling na sila Direk Abet mapipilitan maglagay ng top 3 o top 5 plays every week because of Mbala.
Number 24 here on line.
62-41, back to the biggest lead of LaSalle at 21 points. 5:54 remaining in the third quarter. Back here at the FilOil Flying V Haynes Preseason Premier Cup. Live and exclusive on ABS-CBN Sports and Action. Eric Define with Christian Luanzon, and right now it's a blowout. LaSalle has been leading the way right from the beginning. Right now it's back to their biggest lead of the game at 21, 62-41. And Mbala, well, he hasn't been necessarily a revelation. We knew that he was going to be huge, and he's showing us 23 points, 10 rebounds, and so far perfect from the line for Benoit Mbala.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if Mbala is qualified for Rookie of the Year, we could be seeing history after Benji Paras won Rookie
His first
MVP.
personal 13 foul on
And
De La
that's
Salle.
not very far. We saw it in the NCAA with Akweti from Mapua. That's Akweti, right?
Matt Nieto bringing it down against Karakot.
Number 13, Andre Karakot.
22-point lead for LaSalle, their biggest of the game now after the Rivero free throw. Nieto brothers on the court, Matt and Mike, along with Wong, Wong Ike. Matt Nieto pushed.
Number 15, kid Montalvo, penalty.
And a foul on Montalvo. Taking a look.
Coming in for Andre Karakot.
Blocking foul.
I don't think there was any malicious intent right there.
Yeah.
I just think Matt Nieto sold the call
very well.
It just so happened that the crowd is reacting because Kib Montalvo got suspended. Just came off, is coming off on a suspension last game.
Against Oraime, right?
I think so.
Alwell Oraime of Mapua, if I remember it correctly.
Really? A big guy.
Exactly.
These guards nowadays, I'm telling you, man, tumatapang sila lalo.
Montalvo from outside. Mbala involved again in trying to recover that loose ball, but he tapped it out of bounds. It will go to Ateneo. Mike Nieto looking to inbound. A full court press here by LaSalle. Vince Tolentino out to Matt Nieto, and Melesio takes the ball away. Trapping defense pays off for the Green Archers, and open is Ravenna for the easy 2.
And a good decision that time by Melesio, who had a 4-on-2 opportunity, and Teng with that jumper, he knew he had an Mbala even if he missed on that offensive rebound. As we see our careless pass, easy 2 walk in the park for the King Archer.
One of the easiest shots in Teng's career ever. And again, full court press by LaSalle.
Number 9,
Really
Prince Rivero, penalty.
making
That's the second.
Ateneo's offense a mess right now, and that's the easy giveaway by Matt Nieto directly to the hands of Jeron Teng for the easy 2. 67-43 right now is the score in favor of LaSalle. Now 3 players for LaSalle in double digits. We've got Mbala with 23, Teng with 12, and Schroeder with 10. No Blue Eagle yet in double digits. Teng trying to get himself open. Zone defense here for Ateneo. Melesio open. That's trouble with the zone, and that's the zone breaker right there.
He has that shot. He's the first MVP coming out of Zobel. But what a play by Jeron Teng. Again, an underrated, passer.
Matt Nieto to the weak side. Adrian Wong. Nice defense there by Montalvo. Wong nowhere to go, passes Ike. Ike puts it in as Mbala tried to help on the drive by Wong. Teng along 2. Nice tip from one Nieto to the other. Oh, but Mbala comes out of nowhere, swats it away. Melesio, corner 3. Mbala again on the other side. He's everywhere.
What can you say, Eric?
Take a look at the Melesio 3 first.
And this is the play. Nice pass by Jeron. But what can you say about Mbala? Just showing a lot of heart kahit na preseason pa lang.
A 3-point shot brought to you by Pop O, the perfect entertainment snack. And this total block of the game from Total Excellium, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer. Yeah, Christian, going back to what you're saying, what can you say about Mbala? I mean, he's involved offensively and defensively. He's 100% on both ends of the floor.
Well, it's one thing to have talent, which obviously he has, but it's another thing to show that you can lead a team as a rookie. The scariest team so far.
We'll take a break and come back with more action right after these. Back here at the FilOil Arena in San Juan, and this is the preseason Premier Cup. We're towards the tail end of the elimination round in just a few more days. Quarterfinals tayo, and that's going to be a crossover quarterfinals. The top 4 teams of Group A go up against the top 4 teams of Group B until we determine who the champion will be out of the 16 teams that join the tournament. LaSalle has been on top since the tip-off. Right now it's a 23-point advantage by the Green Archers, led by that man, Mbala. Ben Mbala makes it 25 points now. And
what else can you do, big fella? What else?
That's his output as well on the floor, along with 11 rebounds and 3 blocks. Wong, nice hesitation to catch Go and pick up the foul.
We've seen him block. We've seen him play defense. We've seen all the dunks. We've seen the jumpers. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a 3.
Yeah, amazing performance so far, leading to the 72-47 LaSalle lead against Ateneo. 2:46 remaining in the third quarter. 72-47 LaSalle lead against Ateneo, and they've tried so many combinations offensively and then defensively against Ateneo, against LaSalle especially, trying to change defenders against Mbala, but to no avail, Christian.
And what more can you do? But the good thing about it, it's only preseason. This is one thing that there's a lot to take away from this. If you're Ateneo, especially for the guys who are still trying to prove themselves and earn the trust para kay Coach Tab.
Go loses the ball and throws it away. Adrian Wong against Montalvo. Montalvo with a blocking foul.
Blocking foul on number 15, Kid Montalvo, his 4th.
You just gotta love how LaSalle's playing, even though that resulted into a foul by Montalvo. You would think LaSalle being up so much right now in the fourth quarter would relax, but really showing no signs, absolutely no signs of relaxing. And it seems like, you know, we talked about the Mbala effect. Every player that Coach Ayo has put in has had a significant impact in the game, whether by scoring or playing defense.
Including that young rookie, Aljan Melesio. Second three of the game. And another trapping defense here by LaSalle. Adrian Wong had to be separated. He just went at it all of a sudden. And Bala had to pull away Jolo Go. He and Adrian Wong got tangled up in the full court press again by LaSalle. That's really produced a lot of positive results for them.
Obviously not the best of friends itong dalawang to. Adrian Wong and Jolo Go.
Officials are discussing the calls that will be made. .2:13 remaining in the third quarter. 25-point advantage
Foul on
for
number
LaSalle.
17, Jolo Go. Penalty, that's his third. Unsportsmanlike foul on both number 17, Jolo Go, and number 3, Adrian Wong.
So there's a foul on Jolo Go,
That's
and
the
then
fourth foul on Jolo Go.
both players, Wong
Two shots
and
for
Go, are
Adrian
given
Wong on the penalty
unsportsmanlike
situation.
fouls as well. That's the call on the floor. So Wong will take the free throws for the foul.
You know, Eric, we talked about guys of who will step up scoring-wise for Ateneo, who will be the man to lead that charge. And I think the guy on the line right here, right now, is the best candidate. He showed a lot of flashes, especially down the stretch in that second round, going into the Final Four last year for Ateneo. He's a
And
guy
they
that
got
can
one
score,
for Jolo
but I think the
Go.
challenge that he faces is that last year he had a keeper, Ravenna, who had all the attention in the world. And right now, if the attention goes to him, how will he respond of taking that responsibility?
A huge demand on Adrian Wong. Rivero
2
missing,
minutes.
Richie Rivero missing from outside. Here's Mbala working again, using the left hand this time, and is fouled underneath the basket.
Foul number 99, Chibo Wese Ike. That's his
We
second.
gotta have Janine ask kung
Mbala
anong
shooting
energy
a
drink ang
pair.
iniinom nitong si Mbala. Because, you know, aside from his stellar play today, you know, one thing that I've really been impressed on is his conditioning. Parang hindi napapago tong
Right.
taong to.
Well, ever since nasa Cebu pa yan, the physique's been like that, di bago. I mean, he keeps
Table
himself in
God
tip-top
for
shape.
Ben
I am
Mbala.
sure during the season na hindi siya nakapaglaro, which was last year for LaSalle, they've kept him training, conditioning, in anticipation of his appearance this season. Ike missing. And Rivero, Prince Rivero getting the loose ball.
Foul number 50, Kinito
lot of
Bonson penalty.
Fouls towards the end of the third
That's his
quarter
first.
as the game becoming more physical now.
You know, Eric, is it only me, or looking at Ike has doubled the size of his shoulders this
2 shots
season?
for Prince.
Well, he needs to
Rivero.
triple it some more if he's to go up against Mbala for 14 games next UAAP season. Under 2 minutes remaining, there's 30 Ravenna. After starting in his rookie season, missed his sophomore season and is back. And so far, 6 points, 4 rebounds for Kiefer's younger brother. Wong guarded by Richie Rivero now. And again, the trapping defense by LaSalle producing positive results. But Melesio loses the ball to the sideline. What's Ateneo got to do
30
to escape at full court press?
Well, they gotta attack it. Watching them so far this third quarter, we talked about number one, yung energy, yung halftime. Energy is a little bit higher. The thing is, they can't make a basket, and every time that press comes, you gotta have that mentality to attack the press. Again, knowing when to dribble, when not to dribble.
Melesio passing to Rivero, hoping he was going to cut. Pero fortunately for Melesio, ball was mishandled by Ateneo, so it will stay on the green ball with 20 seconds on the shot clock. So no Embala, no Teng for La Salle here, no Trotter as well. Looking at Prince Rivero, here's Richie. Drives, puts it in.
I thought he was going to dunk that.
Banzon, almost an 8-second violation for Ateneo. Under a minute remaining in the third quarter. Here's the play of the game from Total Excellium. Fuel that leads your engine kilometer after kilometer. Richie Rivero with a left hand driving baseline.
Trust me, Eric, he can do more than that.
It seemed he was right up there when I thought you were right when you said dunk, but he sort of kept it safe. Layup na lang.
Nag-warm up pa lang si Richie. This guy on the line, Banzon, I had a chance to watch this guy also in high school. He's a good shooter. He came from the program from Coach Aldiguer, Boris Aldiguer from Zobel. Another smart player. Let's see if he can develop his game. I just see a nice three from Caraco. If he can develop his game to impress Coach Tab to be in the lineup this coming UAP season.
Banzon gets it to Wong. About 3 seconds separate game and shot. Ball taken away here by Rivero. Rivero, top shot. That's travel.
Everybody was waiting for the dunk as soon as Richie got the ball for the breakaway. Great effort by Ateneo to sprint back on D.
Brent Paraiso in the ballgame for the first time guarding Adrian Wong. Banzon, good if it goes. No.
At the end of the third, it's
82-55, La Salle leading the way going to the fourth quarter against Ateneo. Back here for the final quarter in the matchup between Ateneo and La Salle at the FilOil Flying V Preseason Premier Cup. Eric Dipan with Christian Luanzon, Laura Liban, Janine Choi. And it's been a blowout, Christian. There are no two ways about it. La Salle has dominated Ateneo in practically every facet of the game. Rebounding, defense, offense, steals, blocks, all because of appearance, finally, of the much-awaited Ben Embala.
Yeah, and if you're both teams, you can't play the score. Again, it's only preseason, but at the same time, both coaches really, not looking at the X and O's, but really trying to look at the players, kung sino yung matibay sa loob, kung sino yung focus pa rin sa ginagawa nila. And basically, kung sino yung lalaban para to make this a ball game. And for La Salle's side, you cannot relax. You just gotta keep on to be aggressive and to execute to finish the game strong.
Good defense right there by Ike against Rivero. Black fakes. And there's a foul on the young Richie Rivero.
And on a coaching standpoint, you don't mind those kind of fouls. If it's coming from moving your feet, at least nagkaroon ka ng chance or intention for that offensive foul.
Let's listen in to Janine Choi.
Eric and Christian, despite being consistently named the player of the game, Ben Embala said that that's not really important because what really matters is that they win. He said that he will do whatever it takes for him to be able to contribute to the team on both ends of the court. Also, during the most recent timeout, need to finish strong. They cannot stop being aggressive, but rather continue being relentless. Eric and Christian.
All right, thank you, Janine. Malaysia misses from outside. Ike the rebound, and now San Steng, Trotter, and Mbala. Offense has slowed down para sa LaSalle, Christian.
It's for LaSalle's defense also, even though up by a lot right now, still with that suffocating full court press and with a stop securing the basketball and still pushing the ball, just like this one, a three by Paraiso.
Well, how can they not? I mean, nung binababa yung bola, Alden Ayo shouting on the sideline, asking archers to speed it up, bring it down immediately. And just right on cue, because of the stagnant offense, Teng, Trotter, and Mbala back in the game for LaSalle. It seems like you're praying for something, Christian.
If I'm on the Ateneo side, I'm praying na sana hindi balik, pero pinalik pa rin ni Coach Ayo. Obviously, Coach Ayo trying to not playing the score, and probably trying to say something, send the message also, not only to all the people watching, but to his team. Like, there's really no room to relax. We got eliminated last year. We got a great chance this year. That's the culture that he's trying to build.
And that trapping defense again forcing a turnover as Mbala came to help, and Ateneo threw it away. Teng down to Trotter. Let's go to Laura Lehman.
Eric and Christian, coming into the fourth quarter, the Eagles only have one team to compete. In the first 3 quarters alone, they gave off about 22 turnovers and about 20 offensive rebounds. Now that's already about 42 possessions that they freely given to LaSalle, and Coach Tab is not happy. In fact, in the huddle, he told his boys that we are encouraging LaSalle to play the way they play, and this cannot happen. A lot of times they are scoring off our errors, and this simply cannot continue. That's all for now, Eric and Christian.
All right, thank you, Lau. 20 rebounds, 22 turnovers para sa Ateneo, Christian. That's a recipe for disaster right there.
Certainly is. It's not going to win you basketball games, definitely.
Ravenna, nice move. Good cut, Teng from 15, yes. Full court press again para sa LaSalle. Matt Nieto brings it down safely, or almost taken away by Menescio. Ravenna bumps into Paraiso, and there's a foul on Brent Paraiso.
That's foul number 8, Brent Paraiso.
Here's that drive earlier with the left hand, and then switching it to his right. 30, Ravenna. Haynes, cool play of the quarter. Haynes, America's first name in comfort. And he's been doing so much during the offseason, almost every day, training one-on-one, conditioning and shooting, driving from three-point area, and drives from the half court, and it's showing a great improvement in the game of 30 Ravenna.
A lot of ceiling para dito sa K30 Ravenna. Bigger than his brother Kiefer. I had a chance also to watch this guy in high school, and he has a solid perimeter game. He has a good basketball IQ. I think it's just a matter of time before we see yung full potential nitong si 30.
Teng against the Ateneo zone, and Teng buries it.
It's so easy to say that if you go up against Jaron, to always go under the screen. But just like his passing, one thing that has been underrated also is his perimeter shooting.
Black had nowhere to go. Slammed into Mbala, but Mbala was still there to block the shot. Take another look. It's like running into a brick wall. Although there was obviously a blocking foul on Mbala, but very difficult to get a three-point play against Mbala, that's for sure. He's showing, that's an announcement to the entire UAAP. go ahead and try making a three-point play, making me an end one, putting me in an end one situation.
But if there's one guy that's really fearless of driving, kahit sino ko pa, it's this guy, Black, right there. You know, after last season, and there's also a lot of teams has not the talent that LaSalle has in Imbala, but FEU has their own big men, and this guy Black was always fearless of going to the basket.
Dang against Ravenna. Bounce past the Trotter, anticipated by 30 Ravenna. Ravenna gets across. That's going to be an offensive foul on 30.
And you could just see the disappointment of Coach Tab's face right there. I thought from Tyler Teo, he had two people in front of him with a forward pass. And as soon as 30 caught the pass in the half court, they were still wide open.
Well, credit part of that, siguro, Christian, to the distracting defense ng LaSalle. They were everywhere. Blocking the view, blocking the passing lane. Staying, nice catch. Left hand off the glass is good.
Just gotta love the play of Melesio right now. Even though he's only the rookie and been with the team for just a couple of months, he's making the right decisions and the right passes, right on the money.
Lead is right now at 28 points. Trotter, rebound with 30, and there's a foul on Trotter. Coming down to 5:06 remaining in the game. LaSalle in the penalty already, so every foul from here on in will be free throws for Ateneo. Ateneo, on the other hand, just one team foul. 30 missing the free throw. First of two. Ravenna missing both free throws. Halfway to go in the fourth and final quarter. Melesio, guarded by Cho. Trotter and Bala with a good seal on Babylonia, but Trotter unable to pass it, traveling on Trotter. And he's holding his eye. It seems like he got poked. And 30 comes over to apologize. Couple of substitutions para sa Ateneo. Matt Nieto and 30 Ravenna come out. Porter will come in, along with Mendoza.
This is precious minutes, talking about the Mendoza who just came in. Again,
Wild shot by Black.
this is a chance for you to prove yourself, to earn the trust of your coach. Even though in a blowout game like this with 4 minutes remaining, ito na yung pagkakataon mo.
Well, let's see as Thomas Torres comes in para sa LaSalle, and a big hand for the young rookie Aljan Melesio.
Same thing with number 7 green guy, itong si Langston, just coming in. You know, I had a chance to watch the practices of LaSalle last season. And usually sa practice, no, they would go up against yung second team nila, yung team B nila, and I was very impressed with this guy, si Langston. He was the leader of that team, and giving guys like Jeron Teng a hard time in practices, which made them a better team. Papasok na yung taon.
Drew Langston will trigger the ball into play. Tang from outside. And foul on Babylonia. You're looking at G-Boy Babylonia, and he's probably thinking to himself, I got a whole 14 more games in the next UAAP season to go up against this guy, Bennett Bala. A shot there from the corner, and Tang has 20 points, silently accumulating 20 as well. Joe, Babylonia, reverse is good. Tang. Yes, on the outlet pass.
Just when you think LaSalle got beat on the other end with that attack by Ateneo, they beat them also on the other end with an easy 2 by Teng. Great pass right there.
Attempt to save into the hands of Mbala, again caused by the trapping defense of LaSalle. And Mbala attempted to dunk and got fouled and went down hard, but seems to be okay. Here's that quick, crisp passing by Ateneo on the fast break. And Mbala on the other side, looking to dunk with the left hand and got fouled, fell down hard. 92-62 is the lead by LaSalle here in the fourth. Lead right now at 30 points for LaSalle. It's never been close all throughout the game, Christian.
And, you know, again, credit this guy on the line for setting the tone for this team. Jeron Teng with a quiet 20 points, but more than that, his impact of reading the defense, finding open guys, and, you know, aside from making shots, guys like Montalvo made shots, guys like Jologo, you know, and Melesio had some good minutes. You boost the confidence of your team. You know, a guy like Jeron Teng, the leader of this team, even though so far, by today's play and watching this game, their MVP is in Mbala. You know, the leader of this team is still Jeron Teng, and how far Jeron goes, how far this team will go also.
But Mbala sits down, and he will not come back into the game, that's for sure. 28 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks for Ben Mbala.
It's just a great example again right there on that defensive play. Jeron Teng forcing a turnover, a double dribble violation.
That's been because of that full court press and the trapping defense that LaSalle has used almost all throughout the game.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's one thing when a coach says to you to do something, it's one thing to respond to it. And what's impressive to me about this game, even though it's not a close game, is that for 48 minutes, or 46 so far since we have 2 minutes remaining, LaSalle has just been on the gas pedal all throughout the game. And that's a good sign of a championship caliber team.
Well, they've done it enthusiastically, to say the least, itong LaSalle. And we were wondering at the start of the game, as that was saved into the hands of Porter, we were wondering, Christian, kung paano mag-respond ang LaSalle sa bagong system ni Coach Ateneo, and we get the answer here. A 96-62 drubbing of Ateneo, and we still have 2+ minutes remaining.
And you got to give credit also to Coach Ayo, how he has responded, you know, so far with his team, and also with those outside criticism. They say, you know, a lot of people say he's not the best man for the job, that, you know, he has a complete, he's just parang minamana niya itong team na to. But, you know, it's no different when you inherit a team.
Last 2 minutes from Haynes, America's first name in comfort.
When you inherit a talented team like LaSalle, it doesn't automatically spell a championship. We've seen this in the likes of Phil Jackson coming into the Chicago Bulls, coming into the Los Angeles Lakers. Before they won without him, okay? Before they won, they were not winning without him.
Timeout by Tap. Baldwin will come back to finish the last 2 minutes right after these. Well, we were talking earlier, Christian, about this guy's effect on the game. Play of the game brought to you by Total Excellium, the fuel that cleans your engine. And then the acceptance of the Green Archers of the system of Ateneo, no?
Yeah, because I don't think he's getting a lot of credit so far between what he's doing, because he inherited this team, so to speak, in the program. But, you know, the impact so far, watching them play, watching their energy, how they're locked in, how they're into it. I think a lot of that has to do with the coach also, putting them in the right spots, maximizing everybody. I felt, you know, all throughout this game, lahat ng players na pinasok ni Coach Ayo responded very well and was just effective. And I think that has a lot to do with not only him, but with his coaching staff.
1:20 remaining. And Porter had a basket earlier. Porter drives again. At twisting layup, no good. Shaggy Almond drives. Off the glass, wala pa rin. Babilonia with a left hand. 3 attempts and finally a foul against Dyke. New entry para sa LaSalle.
Well, number 12, Mark Dyke, his second.
That's Mark
2
Dyke.
shots for G-Boy
Now Babilonia at the line for 2.
And just to add to that, Eric, no, from a fan standpoint, it's so easy to say from the outside surface that, oh, malakas yung team na yan. Dapat talaga mag-champion team na yan eh. But, you know, as I mentioned earlier before the break, think about the Chicago Bulls. Think about in Philippines setting, rain or shine, for example. You know, before Yang Yao came, you know, they had a good lineup already. They just couldn't get over the hump. So it's true that, you know, it's a player's game. Players have to perform, but at the same time, the coach is the one that has to motivate and how he communicates with his players for them to be able to perform as well.
And so far, there's been no communication problem between new head coach Alden Ayo and the Green Archers. His new look Green Archers team. Wait a minute, unsportsmanlike foul. It's called on Richie Rivero.
Number 6, Richie Rivero, penalty. And coming in for the first time, Larry Muyang.
When Larry Muyang comes in, that's one of the reasons why they committed the foul to get Muyang back in, or Muyang in the game for the first time. 29.7 seconds remaining.
2 free throws for Jolo Mendoza.
96-64, but it's never been close at any point after the tip between these two teams. Is after that Tomas Torres steal and layup, sunod-sunod na talaga yung that propelled LaSalle, and with the Embala dunk as well, hindi na, they never look back tong Green Archers, Christian.
Absolutely. And they're finishing the game strong as well, giving a chance for a guy like Muyang, who showed also what he can do last year, but you know, under a new coach, we don't know if he's coming off an injury in the past few months, obviously not getting a lot of playing time, but again, precious minutes for him as well.
Almond against Dyke. There's a steal by Rivero. And
there it is. That's what he's trying to do.
Christian was stabbing me, looking for, expecting a dunk. Even the crowd, it seems, parang may, oh, no, wala. The next sidestep na, parang, oh. Mobile enthusiasm. Tio, 2 seconds remaining. And that'll do it. Comprehensive beating of Ateneo by new head coach of LaSalle, Alden Ayo, and the Green Archers, Tam Baldwin, will have plenty to work on and try to sort out as we approach the UAAP season in a few months. 98-66 is the final score. Green Archers win over the Blue Eagles. In a preview of what's to come between Ateneo and LaSalle in the UAAP, it was a commanding win by the DLSU Green Archers against the Ateneo De Manila Blue Eagles, 98-66. Our free-go player of the game, Ben Mbala. And what else have we not said about his performance today, Christian?
Pinag-iisipan pa ba ito? Just complete dominance by Mbala on both ends of the floor. Pinakyaw lahat ng awards for today's game.
Just an overwhelming performance by Mbala. And for Ateneo, there were so many players that we did not see perform due to academic reasons. So it is not the full-strength Ateneo as well we saw today. And there's Mbala getting his award for
yung hawak
awesome
niya lang po,
performance.
ang award niya para malinaw, yung hawak niya lang po.
I didn't even want to go there. 28 points, 16 rebounds, and 3 blocks for Ben Mbala. And the awaited performance has paid off, Christian, para sa mga fans ng LaSalle.
Well, I guess in some way, no, this is the result we expected, talking about the win. But I think the one thing that people didn't expect is how Ateneo played this game. I thought they played flat. They played with low energy. And that's probably one thing for sure na i-address ni Coach Tab for the improvement of his team.
San Beda winning earlier today against Letran, and La Salle winning against Ateneo in their matchup in the preseason cup. Thanks to our director Abet Ramos and producer Ada Bayuga. For Laura Liman, Janine Choi, Christian Luanzon, I'm Eric Dipan. Thank you for watching our coverage of the FilOil Flying V Preseason Premier Cup, exclusively brought to you by ABS-CBN Sports.